Hi, this is Damon Pistolka, host of the Faces of Business podcast, where we talk to interesting people about life and business. We cover their backgrounds, obstacles they've encountered, and find out what drives them. Along the way, our guests share nuggets you can use to drive your success. Reach me directly, DAMON at exityourway.us, or check out our website, exityourway.us, for more information. I hope you enjoy our show. All right, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us on the Exit Your Way Roundtable. With us today, we have Suzanne Taylor King. Welcome, Suzanne.
Hey.
Awesome to have you here.
Excited to be here.
Oh, awesome. Sorry,
That's okay.
Interrupted you guys. Rude. But Andrew, you're with us today. Awesome to see you as well.
Always wanting to have advice on fitness, so I could use it. So
yeah, we're going to learn a little about fitness. That's good. Well, thanks for stopping by, Suzanne.
Yeah,
and I have way too much coffee because I'm talking over everyone all the time.
Oh, that's usually me too. That's the only vice that I'm left with.
Slowly bring on. I'm telling you. Yeah. My doctor. This is funny. So I get this is my physical time of the year, and I've lost a lot of weight over the last couple of years, but it's been a good thing. So I get the thing back from my doctor. The doctor says, hey, you should cut out red meat. You should cut diet sodas out of your thing. And I'm looking at my test results. And I'm like, this is better than it's been in a gazillion years. What are you talking about? I said, I'm like, this is rock star status for me.
Uh-huh.
And it's, anyway, so.
The red meat, I would say keep the red meat as long as it's good quality, and get rid of the diet soda. That was my kryptonite.
I haven't had a diet soda like in a month. I used to drink them like they were like water, right? Mm-hmm. Now I have once, like literally maybe a month. So
that's good.
A lot based. I cut all sugars out of my diet just about, other than a little bit here or there. So it's
awesome. Tell me, do you feel different mentally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to sleep as much. There's just all kinds of things that are different.
Ideas and clarity and focus.
Yeah.
Love it.
Energy.
Andrew does the fasting too. I gotta start trying that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with it. I was actually kind of naturally that way. Before, I'd actually make myself eat breakfast because everybody said you should. Mm-hmm. And I never felt a desire to do that. I'd get pretty hungry around lunchtime and eat a big lunch. So really it's nothing for me to go till 2:00 is my time. And then I'll eat something light. And then, and I have kind of not whatever within reason, but I have whatever I like for dinner. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And then cut off the calories at a certain time, 9:00.
Yeah.
I found that cutting it off by 6 or 7 improves my sleep so much. I mean, just not having anything in my digestive system at nighttime has really made a big difference in my sleep quality.
Yeah. I can't cut off the wine that early though. I'm trying. I've not figured out how to do that yet.
Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, see,
That's something I just don't keep in the house.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because 1 seems to lead to you thinking that 2 is a good idea, and then 2, it's like you might as well just finish the bottle.
Yeah.
It is a gateway substance.
It is, but for sure, gateway to more.
Yeah, it takes your energy away. Well,
yes.
What we found too. That's when I make the most progress on my fitness is when I do curtail the alcohol, especially because it does affect sleep too. So the whole spiral starts without energy the next day because you're just.
And it affects your snacking judgment as well.
Yeah, for sure. There's the munchies. Yeah.
It hits my sleep so hard that that's why I don't drink a lot.
Yeah.
It's I just have fitful sleep. Just what? So I need to do it. But anyway, back to what we were here to talk about. I know we're just talking about health and stuff, and it's great, Suzanne, because that's what you do. Explain to us a little bit about your background and kind of lead us up to what brought you here today.
Well, I started my life after college as a dental hygienist. Mm-hmm. And over those 20 years, I really noticed that most of my patients were very unhealthy, had a lot of inflammation in their bodies, a lot of chronic conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure. And I could tell so much from just looking at their medical history and then taking an observational look at them, skin, fingernails, teeth, gums, all of that.
Yeah.
And I realized that I had a really cool intuitive ability to kind of look at their medical history and then talk to them and say, oh, well, have you thought about this? And have you thought about that? And have you ever tried this? And so I became kind of like interested in learning more about what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I started studying nutrition, and I was always active and fit. And when I hit about 35, my mom passed away very unhealthily. And I just kind of decided, it was time to tweak my own fitness and nutrition. And I started teaching exercise classes and doing crazy, 5Ks and Spartan races and mm-hmm. Tough Mudders and, hanging out with a group of guys snowboarding and mountain biking because girls weren't doing stuff like that then. It's kind of living the laptop lifestyle before there was laptops. Yeah. So I'm showing my age there a little bit. And that translated, I realized I was helping people with their fitness and their nutrition, and 85-90% of what I was doing was up here with people's mindsets. Mm-hmm. So that led me to the discovery of positive psychology. And I dove into that study of that for 3 to 4 years and really kind of crafted my business to focus more on life coaching and that all around wellness view of life, having a positive mindset, gratitude, forgiveness, all the things positive psychology tells us increases our well-being and our zest for life. And I've had businesses over the last 25, 30 years. And so the combination of the two, I ended up coaching a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So when you started doing what you do, and I'm going to butcher, you're going to have to help me. You made up a word to describe what you do. And can you say it once again?
Yeah. Eudaimonologist.
Eudaimonologist. There I did. Eudaimonologist.
Eudaimonologist, yes. So that word came to me about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I started working with my coach, and he's not really, he doesn't call himself a coach. He calls himself a philosopher, and he's a Stoic philosopher. So he studies that ancient Greek philosophy. And one of the words that really stuck out to me, well, two, arete, which is living as the best version of yourself, and then eudaimonia. And if positive psychology was invented, back then, it would have been called eudaimonology, because that word in ancient Greek actually means the study of a good soul. So the study of what is right with people. And I just kind of decided, it just resonated so much with what I do with entrepreneurs, with businesses, and taking teams of people and helping them communicate and live more authentically and grow together. I was like, this is what I do, and I'm going to just make up a word. So I added ologist to it, and I get more questions and more interactions because of that word. And everybody that is working with my coach right now that has heard me say it, they're like, can I have that word? I'm like, sure, go ahead.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and you got an interesting, your background is interesting, as you talked about, doing your job as a dental hygienist and seeing the people's medical history and kind of seeing that and going into the healthy living part of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting how you combine that then with the mental coaching that you do. So can you explain a little bit about that and how it kind of works?
I think, well, first of all, I want to just say it was a very confusing road when it was happening. So when I was in the thick of trying to figure out who I was as a coach, as a business mentor, I had a couple really successful businesses in the 90s, before social media. So I know all that stuff about franchising and growing a business before social media.
Yeah.
And I think that combination, I was left kind of, well, what am I going to do with all this, little bit of holistic health knowledge, aromatherapy knowledge, energy medicine knowledge? Like, how am I going to combine all of that to operate in my zone of genius?
Yeah.
And it was really a long and twisted kind of path to find that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was truly by becoming the best version of myself, eating, moving, sleeping, getting back into my meditation practice, that clarity came a couple years ago. And I was like, oh, I don't have to just be one thing. I can be all of that to people. And the mindset piece, they're the people that are successful. The people who change their mindset about food are the ones that can give up sugar. The people who change their mindset about alcohol and needing it, same with cigarettes, any habit that's kind of your kryptonite. Like for me, it was Diet Coke. I just became a person who didn't drink Diet Coke anymore.
Yeah.
And there's some in my garage right now. And, when I walk out into my garage, I see it and I'm like,
There's
that would taste
out there too, right?
There was what?
There's a garbage can out there too.
There is. But we had a party and there's soda in the house.
Yeah.
And I look at those opportunities to see my old kryptonite and say, oh, hi, I see you over there.
Yeah.
But Stu doesn't drink you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like I'm able to, kind of consciously observe and say, I haven't had one of those in 8 or 9 years. Why would I need one now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. It's interesting.
There's not a need there after that long. That's for sure.
No, but there's still something that you see it and would that taste good right now? Yeah, probably, but no.
Yeah.
Well,
it's amazing though. It's amazing that if you can do that,
mm-hmm.
and it is like you said. You said one thing there. I'm not the person that does that anymore.
Yeah.
And that is a mindset shift that if you can make that, it's really, that's what you have to do. I don't think you can make a sustainable life change if you don't do that.
No, and that's truly the steps of cultivating, willpower. A lot of people think, oh, I don't have willpower and you do. No, I've just cultivated mine and practiced, and then rewarded myself when I do really well. So just those little times of kind of self-celebration. All of my clients get used to celebrating when they make those small accomplishments.
Yeah.
And whether it's exercising, whether it's meditating, whether it's just, eating healthy for one day, you learn to celebrate that. And that releases dopamine and serotonin. Just, making a fist and going, yes, I did it. Yes, I stood strong against the Diet Coke, right?
Yeah.
And just doing that releases a little bit of dopamine and it reinforces those good habits. And as soon as I learned that, I was like, oh, so I could actually get and help people get addicted to their good habits by just learning to celebrate those accomplishments. And then you celebrate with other people, it makes it even more powerful.
Yeah. So I noticed too, like when I've been successful doing that, not always, you know, and then especially with eating, and I eat better now than I did, you know, 10 years ago. Now I look back at some of the stuff I ate, and it doesn't even, if I ever go back to try it, I don't even know how I even, you know, did, you know, like that or in the first place. Do you get that, or is it?
Oh, yes. I mean, I think about my college days. We all used to go to Taco Bell like 3 times a week. And I couldn't even.
It's okay. One of our sponsors, so we can. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry about that, Taco Bell. I could still appreciate a good taco, but I'd rather make it myself.
Yeah.
And know where my meat came from.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say about that. It's more about me knowing too much. And I think once you know about processed foods and sugar content and all of that, you can't unlearn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Well, at least you know it was meat, you know, when you
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I think that when we made the switch a couple of years ago and we started eating better, and honestly, it's a lot easier when you don't have kids in the house too. But if you can get them all to eat good, more power to you. But what you really realize is you watch other people as you shop for groceries, and you look and you go, you just look at the carts, and you look at the people and you go, they are not going to make it till 70.
I do it all the time.
And you look
and notice. Yeah.
And you know, you've got fresh stuff, and then when you look at what you're putting in your cart, you think about it. I know this is an apple. It's pretty hard to process an apple. I know what it is. You know, there's some other things behind, you know, meats and milks and, you know, things like that. But I think really just getting back to buying basic, fundamental, foundational items and cooking with them.
Yeah.
Is it's easier to be healthy that way.
Well, I think most people are shocked to learn, you know, that if they want to eat healthier, if they want to lose weight, you know, and for women, 9 times out of 10, the motivation to eat healthier is for an extrinsic goal. Like, I want to fit in a pair of jeans, or I want to look a certain way, or I've gained weight, I don't like how I look. Instead of focusing on the intrinsic value of eating better, the energy, the focus, the better sleep, the improved memory, just the improved cognitive function that my clients have at work is worth them staying, eating better and meditating and doing their morning routine. And they typically have resistance. You know, somebody comes to me for business advice, they have resistance about me making changes to their home life. And once they see how much it's connected, it's just a magical place.
Yeah.
Well, that sort of leads us into, you know, you work a lot with entrepreneurs and business people like ourselves. Is it because we just need the help that much, or there's a lot of work to do?
I think we spend, and I say we, and I'm sitting down tonight only because I was standing at my standing desk all day today. We spend a lot of time sitting, and we spend a lot of time on electronics. And I think, you know, digital detoxing is something I have everybody do for at least a short time in working together. And that's based on the work of Cal Newport, Digital Minimalism, which I love. And I think realizing that you're spending 10 hours a day on some sort of device, and then realizing that when you get home from work, you're sitting in front of the TV and you're checking more time on a device, it really makes you realize that what the heck did we do before all of this? What do we do with our time? What did we do? We were spending that time more connected to our families or our friends, or actually in conversation with people instead of messaging or commenting on social media. So I really like to have people get back in touch with who they were before that phone was in their hand,
Yeah.
I can remember those days,
I do too.
The three of us can remember the day before you had cell phones. I was thinking about that. I did a presentation, I don't know, a week or so ago for the SBA in Buffalo, New York, and I was going through digital history. So I was looking at when the cell phone actually came out, and I can remember before that when it is like you said, you were out with your friends and nobody had a phone. It's just you made the plan and showed up.
I had the brick phone thing, but I remember we'd spend 3 hours in the office taking calls in the morning. And that was on the landline at the desk.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the same thing, really. But
yeah.
I don't go as far back before phones, so I do.
Well, I remember one when I was about 24, and I won't say what year it was. I took off for a winter season to go live at a ski resort, and I bartended a couple nights a week to pay for food and my lift tickets. And I did not watch TV from January, and my last day snowboarding was May 26th that season. So I had 120 days on the slope that season. I barely scraped by with my bartending money, and it was the best time of my life with no inputs, none. There was no news, there was no TV shows, there was no drama. There was, I mean, just my very close-knit group of friends that I hung out with. And I mean, so much time in nature and so much time in quiet.
Yeah.
I really learned who I was as a person. And I think that's what cultivated just this self-confidence and that desire to do something for myself. And my first business was started not too long after that.
Wow.
May I ask which ski resort?
Yeah, Mammoth Lakes, California.
I'm coming to you live here from Park City.
Nice.
Where I'm out of. So.
Been there.
Yeah, I know I know where you're coming from. It's a little more corporate now out there, but you can still, when you get up to the highest points on the mountain, there's no cell service. So that's not terrible.
I mean, it wasn't even an option.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it was just it was a very scary time for my parents. I remember them thinking, well, you're going to drive across the country in a car by yourself with your dog. Like, what if something happens? And I was like, who cares? Like, what could happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a different time for sure.
Totally.
So what's one of the problems that you see that's more common in business people?
I'd say the number one is over trying to overachieve every day. So the demands, the overwhelm, the to-do list is, 20 miles long, delegation issues, which I definitely suffered with that. Had a hard time delegating. People I would delegate to would make a mistake and I'd be, geez. And I think that's the number one. And then digital, time spent. If you're building a business and you're spending 10, 12, 14 hours a day, you neglect your health, you neglect your family, you neglect your hobbies and your exercise. And I think poor health is really rampant the first 5 years in a business.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely.
Yeah. I think too that if you pay attention to it as well, too, if you can convince yourself to pull back from some of that and carve out some of that time for your mental health and fitness, at the end of the day, you'll find out you got more done anyways. If you're in with
but you don't believe that until you do it.
Yeah,
I know.
You absolutely think that is nonsense and impossible until you actually do it.
Yeah.
And you do it, and I work less now than when my business made $20,000 a year. And I won't say I work less quality, but I'm functioning at a higher level. I'm more efficient, and I delegate those $10, $20 an hour tasks to my assistant. So I'm able to kind of show up at that best version of myself. And that wouldn't be possible if I was still doing, not scheduling social media and not having somebody help me, and not taking care of myself, because I'd be in menopause brain fog somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, if you're running full throttle, you're going to crash. And when you do, there's a cost for that too, right? So there's a cost in time and productivity and performance and everything else. And,
absolutely.
It's a marathon, right? Not a sprint. I mean, everybody's focused on short-term gains, and it's great. It might exit your way too. We look at that a lot. These are kind of the softer aspects in businesses and culture that understand really how to get the best out of your business and your people and the performance. And if they're not healthy, then it doesn't do anybody any good. It's just costing you money every day.
Yeah. And if they're stressed because they're not getting their work done, or they're not meeting deadlines, or they're not making the sales that they want to make, or charging what they want to, charge. I think that's a big one, especially for coaches and consultants. They struggle with what to charge. They want to get clients, so they bargain down their price, or they lessen, their value. And then they realize, oh my gosh, I have to serve 40 clients. And if I had just stuck with my, pricing that I started at, I'd only be serving 20 clients.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it all comes together though. It all comes together because, as we were talking about at the beginning, if you're in good health, you don't need to sleep as much. You're you have much more energy. Now, I'm not saying that's all time to work, but if you do that in the combination of I'm in better health, and I use the part of the day, like you said, for exercise, as Andrew was talking, and mental health, as you were mentioning, the remainder that you're actually working is less.
Yes.
But it will appear to everyone else that you're working a lot more because you get so much more done, because your brain is clear. You have time to just think, the thinking time. And we talk with a lot of people that talk about that and how important it is. And it's really something how that makes a difference.
Well, I think that's the number one thing that people who aren't super close to me say to me is, oh my gosh, you're doing so much. Oh, you have so much happening in your business. I see this and I see this and I see this. And I'm like, cool. Yeah, I've just been golfing for 3 days, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I like telling people that, oh, that's how it looks. It looks like I'm posting here and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but I really only work about 4 hours a day. Yeah. And they're like, what? Really? Yes. And if I have something coming up like a big project, then obviously it's more. Today, Tuesdays is a little bit more than 4 hours. Yeah. But people, I love that compliment, because that means I'm doing the whole delegation scheduling thing. I'm using my software and my automations the right way, that it feels like it's really me, but really it's my email that's emailing you. It's not Suzanne. Yeah. That's set up way in advance. And I love that.
Well, it's I think people in any kind of, profession or sports or any kind of activity, arts, that, you watch the really, really great ones and they make it look easy. It's not easy, but there's a different mindset to it in performance. What I find it's interesting, it's really great here. If you could talk a little bit about this, is because Exit Your Way, we really, at some of the larger companies that have a lot of resources, they're very in tune with this, right? They want healthy people, just to reduce their healthcare costs.
Yes.
For one, and then productivity, they understand all that. We have the resources to hire, divisions of people to come in and work with them. But how does this, that's one of the things we try to do, is we see this because we work with the big companies, but how do we take that to the small business owner,
That's exactly what I'm addressing with my new consulting firm that I've put together, all the different experts that I've worked with over the years in my business. And I actually can go into a company with, 100 or less employees and give them a wellness program. So my husband works for Dell Computers, and they have an amazing wellness program for their employees. It rewards exercise, walking. It attaches to your Fitbit, and they give away money and discounts on health insurance and cash back for different challenges. And I can actually do that for a smaller company with amazing software that I have, and it can be branded for the company. So I've done a couple law firms, and I've done a couple big dental practices, and some smaller consulting firms that wanted to do wellness programs. And the gamification of wellness is really appealing to people. Rewards are super appealing to people. They want to participate if their coworkers are participating. And that, combined with the right company to grow, meaning the right SEO, the right listings management, reputation management. Most companies under 100 employees aren't doing those things. And you just shift, a dental practice, for instance. I have a dental practice that has 6 doctors, and their website, all the grades that I give out for SEO, listings, reputation, Google My Business listings, I give grades, A, B, C, D, E, and F. And they got Fs across the board. And so it's a very visual thing, this report that I gave the dentist. And he said, well, my God, I'm spending $1,800 a month with my website person, and I still have a D in SEO. And I said, well, yeah. And sorry, but you're not doing the right things that need to be done to increase your SEO. And really narrowing in on that has taken, I don't have to spend time on social media connecting with people and attracting clients. I can do stuff like this that I'm doing with you, because I know people are landing on my website whether I'm on social media or not.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
But I had to learn all that myself. And so now teaching it and paying it forward to business owners like me is so rewarding.
Yeah. Well, that's why that's a key principle, is bringing it forward and doing I've seen companies with 30, 40 employees, privately owned, the owners there working with them. And I've seen them do it the right way and the wrong way, but for them to take maybe a day to do a retreat or to do something for the welfare and benefit is very expensive. And that really, it also gets into their heads too, whether we're falling behind, we're not working. I can understand where they're coming from, but I've seen people do it. I mean, to me, that is the most enlightened entrepreneur. That's impressive, because it's another thing for General Electric to take a couple days off. They can afford to do these kind of things, but for someone that's their own money out of their own pocket, and the competition's at the gates every day.
They have to understand the ROI of doing something like that for their employees, whether it's a $10 per month per person wellness program that's all digital, or it's actual weekend retreat somewhere. Of course, that's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But to understand, I remember when my boss, I worked at the same dental office for 15 years, and he just retired, which is kind of surreal. He took us all on a cruise because we hit a monthly income goal that we decided we wanted to hit. The employees, not him. We decided we're going to do $1 million a month in this practice, 4 dentists, 6 hygienists, and we figured it out how we were going to do it. We presented it to him, and we said, if we hit this 3 months in a row, we want you to take us on a cruise or a vacation. He said, deal.
Yeah. No, it's a great story. That's really great because these are the kind of things. You really can't see it. These aren't really tangible results. It's hard to measure. But I think I've seen it happen. The enlightened entrepreneur knows how to step back and these, when people are healthy and they're your army, they're coming in and they're ready to go to war for you in the best possible frame of mind with good health. You're going to win. And I can attest to it because I see it at the end. When the buyers come in to look at a company to buy, and that's in our business, that human factor, they can tell. They don't have to. They just walk around. You can feel it in the air. If people are the right people, or they're miserable. If it's a misery culture, if you want to know where the ROI is, because there's no deal going on there.
Well, one of my favorite things to do is a secret patient visit to my medical or dental practices. I'll make an appointment, or my partner, one of my consultants, she'll make an appointment and we'll go and get our teeth cleaned. And, from the very beginning of the experience to the end, what was it like to call? What was it? How long did I have to wait for an appointment? How was I talked to? When I said I had insurance, or when I said I didn't have insurance, what was the feedback? And then the actual in-office vibe. Is there eye contact? Is there warmth? Is there caring? Were finances discussed ahead of time, or did I just, get told when I was finished how much it was? And all of that comes into play to have a really successful. I mean, it doesn't have to be just a medical practice. You could have a bookstore and have an employee working there that was treating people badly, or even worse, not treating people like anything at all. And you need to know that. Yeah,
for sure.
It's interesting because when we started talking, we were talking about life and coaching and health and those kind of things. But, what you're talking about and how you really are helping people is holistically as you talk. And when it spills over into how you do business and understanding the importance of doing business the right way. Just because it's you live it, you need to do it, in everything you do. It's really, really cool.
Thank you.
Well, it's like you sleep a lot of your life. You might as well have a good bed to sleep in, right? So.
I could talk for a whole half hour on that.
You spend a good portion of your life working, then there's no reason to be miserable, and you don't have to be.
Yeah, you don't have to be. That's all a choice.
Yes.
Choose your attitude. I think that was There's the old fish story. If you read that one, have you?
Yes.
The one out of Seattle. So I forget the name of the author. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I love that old story. Fable kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep. It's right on my shelf up there.
Yeah.
My mother gave it to me, of all people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what a PhD in education will do, I guess. So
I guess. But I think that when you choose to have fun with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the people around you, whether it's your coworkers, your employees, or your customers, they actually feel that
Oh, yeah.
you're alive. I mean, nobody would ever accuse me of being quiet or depressed or not animated. Like, I'm totally animated. I make faces all the time. I talk with my hands. Like right now I'm sitting on my hands, so they're not like up here. But that's part of why people want to work with me. And the ones that don't, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm not the coach for you then. But the ones who do hire me, it's because of the way I live my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And business knowledge is great. Degrees are great. I got a ton of them, but nobody's ever asked to see them.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
True.
I don't know why I spent so much time getting all those certifications, honestly.
That's questionable anymore.
It is.
How
It
that
is.
There's some real life skill and some more technical things that may be better for some. I definitely believe that. What you're saying though really resonates with us. I mean, we are not the right fit for some clients that come to us, and we politely tell them that, because they're not gonna like what we do. Like, I'm sure a lot, and we talked about this previously, is like they're not gonna like what we need to do, and if to get to where we want to go, and if that's just not going to happen from the beginning, it's just not worth it, and it's not worth it for them, not worth it for us. And I think really a lot of us in business, especially when you're talking about the smaller businesses with the 5 employees or less, it's like, I want to get all this business. Well, really, that business doesn't do you any good if you're doing it with someone that doesn't appreciate it. And I'm not even saying appreciate, that's not the right word. Someone that's not really helping you to grow by helping them.
Right.
And because if you are working with the right client, it should be stretching you a bit, or giving, doesn't matter. It can be, I'm a contractor, I'm building an addition on your house. Mm-hmm. Same thing as an advisor, that a CFO or a CPA or anything else. If your client is not helping you grow, and it gets boring, and it's just repetitive, and it's blah blah blah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't want to do it.
No, it's not good for either one of you. It's not doing you any good anymore. So I think a lot of people in the smaller businesses get it. It's like, I need the money. Well, everybody needs money, but if you really begin to do as you said, and you're doing the right things, the right business will come to you. It will come to you.
Last year, I guess it was December, my phone rang, and it wasn't a number that was in my phone. And I normally don't answer. I let it go to voicemail. My phone number is all over my website. So if somebody needs to get a hold of me, they usually leave a message. And this time I decided to answer the phone for some reason. I think because it was fairly local to me. And it happened to be a dentist who found me online and needed to hire a life coach. And he saw that I had been a hygienist for 20 years. Now, he wasn't looking for any business advice at that point. He wanted to get his food, exercise, and mindset in the right place, because he was getting older. He was approaching 40, wanted to be in the best shape of his life. And we did a fitness thing together. We did a nutrition thing. Like I said, oh, I'm doing this with you. This is like, this is my time of the year to do this. So let's go. And I said, someday when we meet in person, I have 15 years on you. So we'll see who can do more push-ups. And he laughed. And he was like, so what else do you do? And we ended up in a conversation about how I work with entrepreneurs. And I said, you're actually my die for dream client, a 37-year-old dentist. Like, who has 4 offices, sign me up. I said, so if you ever need any business help or any advice, let me know. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Well, guess what happened? And it's been amazing. Like when I tell you, I mean, that was like intervention
Yeah.
that he found me, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
So
that's fun. And that's so fun to have a relationship that I made a difference in his personal life. His wife called me and thanked me. His business partner is like, oh, well, I don't want you to consult in our business if he's going to be any different personally. I said, no, the personal stuff will rub off on you too. And he said, okay. Because they didn't want to lose that personal drive and motivation that you get from talking to somebody, even if it's only 15 minutes a week, keeping you on track with your food and your exercise.
Yeah. Oh, it's so important. It's
Yeah.
so important. It's wonderful talking with you, Suzanne.
Thank you. You too.
I mean, it really is. It's so good to be able to hear you and see you and understand what you're saying because it's real. And most people do not get to live a life that they could because they don't think they can, and they can do it if they just take one step today, another step tomorrow, and along the way throw that crap out of the door, that comparing yourself to anyone else. Compare yourself to yesterday and just keep working on it. And I think that, hearing you, the stories that you're telling about how you're helping people is just awesome. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So much. So if people want to get a hold of you, Suzanne, what's the best way to do that?
Well, I have some awesome resources on my website. My newest book is there for free. It's a mindfulness guide for entrepreneurs. SuzanneTaylorLifeCoach.com. And the consulting firm, you can reach me through my life coaching website to get to the business resources as well. So that's really the best place to get on my email list, get on my morning routine builder, where I actually help you via email create a morning routine that works for you. And it's like a little coaching program via email. So it's really fun.
Nice.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by today.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful learning more about you. And I'm sure if anyone wants to talk to Suzanne, reach out to her. Suzanne, thanks again.
Thank you. It was so fun.
Bye.